You know how life sometimes takes a turn you don't see coming? One day, everything feels chaotic, the noise of the world is too much, and then suddenly, there's a quiet shift. That's what seems to be happening with Johnny Depp. For decades, he's lived under the harshest spotlight. His life has been splashed across headlines, dissected on social media, judged by strangers who have never met him. We've seen him celebrated as one of the most talented actors alive. We've seen him dragged through painful public battles. We've seen the highs, the lows, the unforgettable roles, and the messy scandals. And yet, even after all of it, Johnny Depp is still here. But this time, things feel different. He isn't just moving on to another blockbuster role or another red carpet appearance. He seems to be building something else. Something quieter. Something more personal. A new home. A new project. A search for stability. But of course, with Johnny, nothing comes without questions, twists, or rumors. Think about that for a second. How many times have we seen stars fade away after a storm? They retreat. They vanish. But Johnny has never done that. He may look tired sometimes, he may step back from the spotlight, but he always finds a way to reappear, carrying with him not just the image of a star but the weight of a man still trying to figure it out. Maybe that's why people are still drawn to him. He's not polished. He's not untouchable. He's human. And that humanity shows through every choice he makes, especially now. Let's picture this new home of his for a moment. Not the Hollywood mansion you'd expect, not a palace with glass walls and infinity pools, but something more grounded. The kind of place that feels like a retreat from the chaos. Stone walls that make you feel like time moves slower inside. Gardens where you can take long walks and finally hear your own thoughts. Rooms that are filled not with glittering chandeliers but with character, history, and warmth. It's not about showing off. It's about finding peace. And doesn't that make sense? When you've spent most of your life being chased by cameras, maybe the only thing left to chase is silence. Maybe the greatest luxury isn't more fame, but the ability to step outside without hearing the click of a lens. Maybe Johnny's new home isn't just a place to live, it's a place to breathe. And that word, breathe, feels important here. Because how many times in your own life have you reached a point where all you wanted was a pause? Just a moment where you could close the door, sit with yourself, and not feel the pressure of the world pushing in? That's what this new chapter seems to be about for him. Not escaping completely, but reclaiming some space that is just his. Of course, a house is only part of the story. The other part is who you share it with. And when it comes to love, Johnny Depp's story has always been complicated. His relationships have been splashed across magazines, analyzed endlessly, and used as fuel for gossip. Every kiss caught on camera, every fight exaggerated, every breakup magnified. But now, it feels different. Those who know him say he's no longer chasing the spark that burns bright and fast. He wants something deeper. Something steady. A flame that doesn't fade when the lights go out. And isn't that the most relatable thing of all? Fame can give you everything, money, attention, applause, but it can't give you the feeling of someone standing by your side when the noise dies down. Johnny's search for a love that lasts reminds us that even those at the very top still crave the same simple truths the rest of us do. But Johnny isn't someone who just sits still, either. His mind is restless. His creativity doesn't switch off. While some actors cling desperately to roles that keep them relevant, Johnny has been stepping sideways, exploring the kind of work that doesn't fit into boxes. He paints. He writes. He plays music. He directs. And now, he's throwing himself into something called Hyde. No one really knows what it is. Part film. Part art experiment. Part music. It's shrouded in mystery, which makes it even more intriguing. And honestly, doesn't that sound exactly like him? Johnny has always gravitated toward the strange, the unconventional, the projects that leave people puzzled but curious. When others play it safe, he takes risks. And maybe that's why people never stop watching him. Because even if you don't understand what he's doing, you can't help but wonder where it's leading. But not all the attention around him has been uplifting. Some recent pictures of Johnny set off waves of concern among fans. He's been spotted looking worn down. His clothes rumpled, his eyes heavy, his face carrying that tired expression that makes people whisper. Is it age? Stress? Or is it just Johnny, never caring much for polished appearances? After all, this is the same man who once said he never wanted to play the Hollywood game. He never seemed interested in being perfect. He was always more of an artist than a celebrity. But still, when you see him looking haggard, you can't help but feel a little worried. Because the truth is, life leaves marks. And Johnny has lived through storms most of us couldn't imagine. No matter how strong you are, no matter how many times you pick yourself up, the weight leaves traces. Maybe what we're seeing isn't weakness, it's honesty. The honesty of a man who has carried too much for too long. And then there are the rumors. Because with Johnny Depp, there are always rumors. The latest one involves Amber Heard and her twins, somehow pulling Johnny's name back into the conversation. Online, speculation spreads like wildfire. People connect dots that don't exist. Theories grow, fueled by whispers and assumptions. And suddenly, it feels like the past is clawing its way back, even when both of them are clearly trying to move forward. Isn't that the cruelest part of fame? The chapters you want to close are the very chapters the world refuses to let go of. And no matter how much you try to move on, there's always someone ready to drag you back. But maybe there's a lesson in that. Maybe it's a reminder not to believe everything you hear. Because the loudest stories are often the least true. The internet loves drama. And when it comes to someone like Johnny Depp, drama never runs out. But beneath the noise, what's left is a man simply trying to build a life that feels like his own. Think about this for a moment. We often talk about stars as if they're larger than life. We imagine them untouchable, immune to the same struggles the rest of us face. But what Johnny is showing us right now is the opposite. He's reminding us that no matter how high you rise, you're still human. You still want peace. You still want love. You still stumble, get tired, feel weighed down. Maybe that's why people are drawn to him. Because his story isn't just about fame. It's about the fight to hold on to what really matters. And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. Because when you think about it, isn't that what we're all chasing? A place that feels like home. A relationship that doesn't fade. Work that feels alive. A way to be seen for who we are, not just who people think we are. Johnny's journey right now might look complicated from the outside, but at its heart, it's simple. He's searching for what lasts. A friend of his once said, "Artists don't get old. They just change colors." And maybe that's what we're seeing here. Johnny isn't fading. He's shifting. He's painting with new shades, creating a version of life that isn't about constant applause, but about authenticity. And yes, sometimes that means looking tired. Sometimes that means stepping away from the spotlight. Sometimes that means dealing with rumors that won't die. But it also means finding new ways to create, new ways to live, new ways to love. So where does that leave him? With a home that feels like a refuge. With a search for a flame that lasts. With projects that defy labels but fuel his soul. With a body that shows signs of the storms he's endured. With rumors that won't let go, but a spirit that refuses to be defined by them. It's complicated. It's messy. But maybe that's the point. Because Johnny Depp has never been a simple story. He's a reminder that even at the very top, you're still just human. Still stumbling. Still searching. still trying to hold on to what really matters. And that leaves us with a question. Do you think Johnny Depp is finally stepping into a calmer chapter, or is this just the eye of another storm? I'd love to hear what you think.